I've always loved weddings. I've had a kitchen catch fire while the barat was coming in. So for me, every bride and groom are as important as celebrities. The highlight of their wedding for me is the Genda Jaymalas and the Genda at the Mandap. When I look back on life, I think I was always meant to do this. But I think when I was 18, there was no straight path to this. So at 18, I wanted to be a journalist. I majored in literature. I veered on to working with a lot of journalists and a bunch of other things. And I realized that I'm way too optimistic to do this in life. So I decided to sort of veer away and sort of in a very long journey sort of thing, I wound up with weddings. But the truth is, I've always loved weddings. I think I was 10 years old when I attended the first wedding ever. And I will never forget how palpable the happiness was over there. I mean, you could almost hold it as a kid. And weddings have always made me happy. I've always been that auntie who sits there. The minute someone tells me there's a wedding in the house, I go and plonk myself there and say, what can I do? Because I like weddings so much. I'm almost obsessed with them. It wasn't even a serious career of being a wedding planner or a designer. Even till about 5 years back, I was still explaining to people what a designer versus a planner does. Most of the times, we're very good friends with the people who we work with in terms of the planners, the photographers, the videographers, the florists. We're all people who work together. We all understand each other's quirks. We all know at what point one sort of leaves something and the other one sort of picks it up from there. It's almost like theater. And I used to do theater back in college. So every wedding on the day of the wedding feels like a play to me, because they're just different points which are all sort of coming together for this one performance where there are no retakes. Which is why it's not like a movie, it's like a play, because you can see the flaws, the audience can't, and you're all just doing your own little things in this beautiful sort of synchronized symphony. And that's what it feels like to be at a wedding. So it's very important for all the teams, not just the planner and designer, but even the other people, to sort of plug in and plug out and know what is happening to minute details. For me, every bride and groom are as important as celebrities. And the unique thing is that you all see the celebrity weddings, you all don't see too many of the other weddings. But the fact is, every wedding is the same. And I think that the biggest challenge is that no wedding is the same. The families are different, the demands are different, the way you curate them is different, the cities are different, the countries are different. So I think every wedding comes with its own unique challenges, which is the biggest challenge, because you can't predict what is going to be a challenge at this particular wedding. I think one of the things we don't ever suffer from is monotony. All our projects are drastically different, our clients are different, our problems are different. Something that may have worked once may never work again for us. So I think that becomes one of the biggest challenges. And the fact that the world is looking at you when you're dealing with those challenges is also one little challenge to sort of work with and work for. Every wedding we do is confidential. That's just one of like the byproducts. And the reason it is confidential is because it is a private affair. And we think of it like that it's a private celebration. And I don't see the point of the world being witness to someone's private affair. If I was taking vows tomorrow, I wouldn't want everybody to be listening to what I'm promising my husband, right? And I think that's just how we treat every single wedding. We imagine them to be extremely private and personal affairs. And that's why it doesn't feel like a challenge to maintain that little boundary of personal and public for us. But I've had my venues being washed out with a cyclone. So the Peras were at 12 in the afternoon, and at 6 in the morning, I had no venue because there was a cyclone and the entire beach sort of got washed out. I've had a kitchen catch fire while the barat was coming in. So we had to stall the barat till we could put off the fire, and then the wedding could sort of continue, and we were short on food because a large part of the kitchen caught fire. And this is just like every day, like cyclones are like a part of like every single island wedding we do. Or just like, I mean, if a wedding rains out, it's just a regular day for us. It's not a big deal for us. But we've had a bride lose her lehenga, and the groom has been at the mandap and we've not been able to trace her lehenga. And it's so funny because after this, we've all known that on the morning of the wedding, we will always walk up to the bride and be like, do you have a lehenga or not? Because we've had a situation where her lehenga is bound up in somebody else's room. So I think these are just some of the like bigger things at the top of my head that I can remember of, but this is just like an everyday in our life sort of situation. With any wedding we do, the easiest thing is when the couple lets you make your own creative decisions. As creative people, I think it's very important to have a sort of a freedom to sort of make the decisions and take your calls. And I've been very lucky that almost all the weddings that we've done, we've had that creative freedom, and we've had a lot of trust that's come through. The most toughest part has been actioning the trust and sort of living up to it, because there's this sort of like under the table pressure of we know you'll do a good job, but actually sort of living up to it, because we have to remember that there are no retakes of what we do. Number one, no matter what happens, whether a kitchen is on fire or there's a cyclone in the morning, there are no retakes. We have to work backwards from it. And the second thing is, it is possibly one of the most important days of someone's life. And it is literally in our hands to make sure that they have the best day of their life without caring about all of these things that happen. And I think that is the biggest challenge for us in all the weddings we do. It was a really, really happy day. I was filled with beautiful light, lots of genda. Did you guys see the Jaymalas with the genda? It is genda season in the winter. It just felt sort of organic to bring genda to with the beautiful outfits that Sabyasachi actually made for them. It was completely on brand with what they wanted to do. So that was the highlight of that wedding for me, is the genda Jaymalas and the genda at the mandap. And just how happy both of them were at their wedding. I think the highlight of that wedding was that was the first glimpse India saw of a destination Indian wedding. I think it was the first sort of flag bearer and a yardstick of every wedding that's happened, because that's the first time people saw how beautiful and personal Indian weddings could be. One of the greatest privileges I have is I get to work in really beautiful places, especially in India, because sometimes it's so amazing that you drive 2 hours out of any city and you find the most beautiful palaces and forts and things. And I get so excited because I actually get to work there and actually get to visit there. In fact, when someone says, "Have you been to the palace in Udaipur?" I'm just like, I've been to every room in the palace in Udaipur. I've done up those rooms. I've lived in those rooms for a certain numbers of days. So I think when you have a beautiful venue, it's half a battle won, right? You have a beautiful space that you have to make more beautiful. So I think that's one of the greatest sort of pros of my job.